The news bulletin to start with the headlines. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq sends a cable of greetings to His Excellency the President of Paraguay on his country's National Day. The Sultanate decreases its oil production in May by 16% at the value of 142,000 barrels per day with an OPEC Plus agreement. An Israeli airstrike destroys a high-rise building in Gaza City that houses offices of some media outlets hours after another air raid in a refugee camp in the city kills at least 10 Palestinians, mostly children. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq sent a cable of greetings to His Excellency President Mario Abdo Benitez of Paraguay on his country's National Day. The Ministry of Energy and Minerals affirmed that the Sultanate has decreased its oil production in April by 17% at a value of 151,000 barrels per day and is working to reduce the production by 16% at a value of 142,000 barrels per day during the current month of May. The total deposits in the banking sector at the end of March had increased by 2.5% as to reach 14.7 billion Omani riyals. The Central Bank of Oman showed that the deposits of the private sector at the banking system recorded an increase of 7.3% as to reach 17.1 billion riyals by the end of March. The total credit account granted by establishments increased by 3% as to reach 27.2 billion riyals. The Directorate General of Oman Meteorology at Civil Aviation Authority said that a tropical depression in South Arabian Sea has developed to a tropical storm called Taote. The wind speed around the center is estimated at 34 to 47 knots. Earlier, the National Multi-Hazard Early Warning Center stated that it continues to monitor all updates of this tropical storm, and the Civil Aviation Authority advises the public to follow its latest weather bulletins and reports. And now for the international news. An Israeli airstrike destroyed a high-rise building in Gaza City that housed offices of the Associated Press and other media outlets yesterday, hours after another air raid on a densely populated refugee camp in the city killed at least 10 Palestinians from an extended family, mostly children. The earlier Israeli airstrike on the Gaza City refugee camp was the deadliest single strike of the current conflict between Israel and the Hamas group. Both sides are pressing for an advantage as ceasefire efforts gathered strength. Since Monday night, Hamas has fired hundreds of rockets into Israel, which has pounded the Gaza Strip with strikes. In Gaza, at least 139 people have been killed, including 39 children and 22 women. In Israel, 8 people have been killed, including the death of a man killed by a rocket that hit in Ramat Gan, a suburb of Tel Aviv. China landed its Mars probe, Tianwen-1, on the Red Planet, opening a new chapter of China's deep space exploration and marking another contribution to humanity's exploration of the universe. Tianwen-1, consisting of an orbiter, a lander, and a rover, was launched from the Wenchang spacecraft launch site on the coast of southern Chinese island province of Hainan on July 23, 2020. After a journey of nearly 7 months through space, the spacecraft entered the Mars orbit in February and spent more than 2 months surveying potential landing sites. The student reporter who gained national acclaim when he interviewed President Barack Obama at the White House in 2009 has died of natural causes. Damon Weaver was 23 when he died on May 1st. He had been studying communications at Albany State University in Georgia. Weaver was 11 when he interviewed Obama for 10 minutes in the diplomatic room on August 13, 2009, asking questions that focused primarily on education. He covered school lunches, bullying, conflict resolution, and how to succeed. Weaver then asked Obama to be his homeboy, saying that Vice President Joe Biden had already accepted. Absolutely a smiling Obama said, shaking the boy's hand. He used that meeting to later interview Oprah Winfrey and athletes like Dwayne Wade. Coastal areas of India's southern Kerala state faced ravaging pre-storm winds and heavy rains yesterday. The Meteorological Department has issued a red alert in 5 districts of the state in the wake of the cyclone, including Alafuzha district. Some regions face incessant rains and subsequent flooding in villages, prompting authorities to shift the villagers to a higher terrain. The storm is expected to intensify into a severe cyclonic storm and is likely to make a landfall on the western coast of India tomorrow. An oil painting by Pablo Picasso sold for $103.4 million at a Christie's auction in New York, smashing its pre-sale estimate of $55 million. The portrait of Picasso's French lover, Marie-Therese, woman sitting near a window, led a 20th century evening sale on Thursday. Keith Gill, head of the Impressionist and Modern Art Department at Christie's London, said the work may be familiar to art lovers from its appearance at a landmark Picasso 1932 exhibition at the Tate Modern in 2018. Christie said after an intense bidding war, the Picasso was snapped up by an online bidder in California. Thursday's auction, which was streamed live from the Rockefeller Center, marked the 5th work by the Spanish painter to have sold for more than $100 million. Once again, the recap of the headlines. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tarik sends a cable of greetings to His Excellency the President of Paraguay on his country's National Day. The Sultanate decreases its oil production in May by 16% at the value of 142,000 barrels per day with an OPEC Plus agreement. An Israeli airstrike destroys a high-rise building in Gaza City that houses offices of some media outlets hours after another air raid on a refugee camp in the city kills at least 10 Palestinians, mostly children. And China declares first Mars mission success with cheers in control center. And this was the 7 a.m. news bulletin read to you by Sweetsell and directed by Sophia Al-Habsi. The next news bulletin will be later at 2:30.